A 360? Yeah, you're good, man. Thanks.
And like most things in Parkour Civilization, the way you tip is with more parkour. Luckily, I survived that payment for the jump installed in my house. If I missed any one of those jumps, I would have fallen back down to the parkour noob level, and my journey to become a pro would have been for nothing. But I won't say it wasn't worth it, because now I can practice slime jumps anytime I want inside of my house. And this is how my new life is as a pro in Parkour Civilization. No parkour noob at the bottom level knows what life is like up here, except I was the only one to rank up and become a part of parkour society. To rank up to a parkour pro, I had to be the first noob in history to beat an impossible parkour course. When I got to the top, I got my iron boots and I was officially a pro. I thought I had made it. I thought I was at the top of Parkour Civilization, but that's when I realized I truly knew nothing about the world I was living in. My journey to getting to the top of Parkour Civilization wasn't even close to being done. Now, I was about to discover what life was like on the second layer of Parkour Civilization. At the Parkour Pro level, everywhere you look is a 2-block jump. When I was a parkour noob, I thought 2-block jumps were extremely hard, but now that I could sprint, I realized they were almost like 1-block jumps. Something about the pro level felt different. Maybe it was the fact that when I was a noob, I would see dirt in the sky, but now there's nothing above me. And that's when I looked back at the parkour temple. There was still a world above me, and now it was way higher up. But there was something else that was different. I was staring down at the house I used to live in. When I was down on the noob level, I would look up and all I would see is dirt. But somehow on the pro level, I could look down, and I could only assume that the same goes for the layer above me. Now that I was adjusted to my surroundings, it was time to go searching for a place to buy a house. That was assuming that life still worked like that up here. When I took a look around, all I saw were the same identical buildings. Maybe this time I wouldn't be getting a mansion. But that's when I found a building that looked different, and it definitely didn't look like a house. When I walked inside the building, sure enough, it was a shop to buy a new house.
Hey, aren't you the dude who ranked up?
That would be me.
Oh yeah, I thought it was you. I'm selling houses today. Choose one you want to buy.
Let's go. It's time to buy my first house as a parkour pro. Let's see what these prices are. I can get one house for a 2-block jump. Oh, that's super cheap. All right, what is this one over here? I can get one house for a 2.5-block jump. Okay, that's a little more expensive. And this last one is one house for a 3-block. Wait, why are these all the same? All of these options are for the same house.
Oops, busted. I was trying to get a little more profit.
Why would anyone fall for that? Since there was only one house to buy, I obviously went with the cheapest option and bought my first house with a 2-block jump.
Congrats on buying your first house as a parkour pro. Let me take you to it.
Let's go. Since all the houses were identical, it was no surprise that I got one that looked like this.
You're all set to move in. Feel free to call the parkour delivery service if you want your jumps changed.
A parkour delivery service? Let's go. Being a parkour pro is awesome. The living room in my house had 2 1-block jumps, and the entire house itself was 3 stories tall. Looks like 3 jumps to get to my bed on the top floor.
Hey, it's your neighbor. Can I come in?
Oh, sure.
Thanks. You're that FO guy, right? You're the noob who beat the course and ranked up?
Yeah, that's me. I'm the first one to do it, I guess.
I can't believe you're my neighbor. That's crazy. Well, you probably have questions about life up here, right? Anything you want to know?
Yeah, one actually. What happens when we fall? What is the punishment for missing a jump at the pro level?
You go down a level. If you miss a jump, you'll be a noob, and you'll have to beat the course again.
Okay, so I can never fall. Noted. So who are the people above us then? What's above a pro?
It's probably best I just show you. Here, come with me.
My neighbor started telling me everything there was to know about Parkour Civilization. He brought me back to the Parkour Temple where all the statues were. He explained how Parkour Civilization starts at the noob level, and at level 2, you become a Parkour Pro. Then, there were the Parkour Masters. If you were lucky enough to rank up, you get gold boots and you become a master. My neighbor said that Parkour Masters never come down to the pro level, but if they do ever come down, it's a Parkour Pro's nightmare. He said the Parkour Masters are ruthless. And then he walked over to the largest statue, the one with the diamond boots. He said that this was the parkour champion. He said that most people down here don't even believe that the champion is real. But the stories say there can only be one parkour champion. Whoever that was lives at the top of Parkour Civilization, which means if I was gonna make it to the top, I would have to become a parkour champion. My first day as a parkour pro was strange. For once, no one was at my door making me parkour for food. But then the question was, how do I get food now? Or what do I even do? I saw that there was another pro going somewhere, so I decided to follow him. Soon after, I saw another pro going in the same direction, which meant they were probably heading to something important. After jumping for a few minutes, I saw what they were heading to. They were all heading to this massive structure in the distance. When I got closer, I saw saw that there was a bunch of parkour pros lined up for something. Whatever this place was, these parkour pros were willing to do 2-block vertical jumps to get here. Fortunately, I didn't fail any of these jumps and I made it into the line. I must have woken up late to whatever this was because I was the last one to show up. At this point, I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but that's when I saw what everyone was waiting in line for. There was a dispenser at the end of the structure. The pro in front of me picked up 2 items, but the only thing I saw them holding was a piece of paper. What could be so valuable about that piece of paper that people would wait in line this long for? When it was my turn, I clicked the button, and I got a piece of steak. So this is how the parkour pros get food. Then I received the piece of paper. The paper said farm work equals 15 minutes. And this is when I realized how life was different on the pro level of Parkour Civilization. Instead of parkouring for food like the noobs do, the pros parkour for work. Just like the guy who sold me my house, the guards in parkour prison, or even the pros that fed me every day. They were all just completing their daily task that they got from this piece of paper. And now for my first daily task, I was assigned to work on the farm. Before this, I had never seen an animal in Parkour Civilization, but this is the place they were all kept. This place was responsible for feeding all of the parkour pros and all of the parkour noobs. And it should be no surprise that in Parkour Civilization, even the animals had to do a parkour course. My daily task meant that I had to watch all of the animals that did the parkour course. Oh man, this job is terrible. Now I'm just gonna have to watch a cow fall off and die. Whoa, what the? Oh my god, this cow is cooking. How did he even do that? The parkour pros only eat the meat from the animals that complete the parkour course. They say it enhances your parkour abilities. As for the other animals that don't make the course, well, that's where the meat comes from on the noob level. And some noob's gonna have to eat that. Wow, I cannot say I missed that. Parkour pros do their daily tasks for a reason. Once you've completed the task that you got on your piece of paper, you take it to the training grounds. This place is basically the only reason parkour pros are incentivized to work. This is because this is the only place in Parkour Civilization where you can practice parkour without worrying about falling to the lower level. The entrance to the training grounds is blocked by a barrier, and the only way in is to throw in your slip of paper once you've completed the work. The daily task I completed gave me 15 minutes of practice time. That meant for the next 15 minutes, I could practice any parkour jump I could possibly think of. Here, you have the ability to build any parkour jump you want. But with this being my first day as a parkour pro, I didn't even know what I needed to practice. So I just decided to do the jumps that people left here. It seemed like a lot of the pros were practicing fence jumps, which are jumps I had little to no experience on. But what scared me the most is what I saw over here. Someone was practicing not one, but multiple 3-block vertical jumps. It almost seemed impossible to do even one. But if someone was practicing these jumps, that could only mean one thing, that the way up to become a parkour master would be nearly impossible. If I was gonna have any shot at ranking up to become a master, I was gonna have to spend much more time in here practicing. Another beautiful day and I don't have to wake up to either raw chicken or raw beef. Even though I've only been here for a few days, I feel like I haven't really enjoyed myself yet. I mean, for once in my life, I don't even have to go outside to parkour for food. I don't even have to grab my piece of steak. I'll still have full hunger for days. And now, instead of being bullied by all the parkour pros like I was down at the noob level, I can just do anything I want and no one's here to punish me.
Hey, you wanna come with me to get our daily jobs? I don't wanna be late.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do my daily task. I think I'm just gonna chill today, honestly.
What? What do you mean you're gonna chill? You're not gonna get your daily task? Are you sure about that?
What? I mean, no one says we have to, so what's the problem?
I don't know. I just have never seen anyone not do their daily task.
Wow, maybe I'm teaching the parkour pros that they don't have to parkour all the time. But later that day, I realized I made a huge mistake. What in the world is that sound? Bro, come on, I was just trying to sleep. Who keeps making that horn noise?
Dude, hurry. You gotta get out here now. Follow me and make sure you don't miss a jump.
Whoa, what's going on? Be late for what? Wait, where are you going? I started parkouring in the direction that my neighbor was going. And that's when I saw a bunch of parkour pros lined up, standing completely still. I had no clue what was going on, but I followed my neighbor and soon I got in line with all of the other parkour pros. No one was saying anything. Hey, can anyone tell me what's going on?
Dude, don't say anything and look straight ahead.
Why? Can't someone just explain what's happening? But that's when it happened. Not too far ahead, someone dropped down from the sky. It was a parkour master.
One of you was supposed to design a new course, but someone didn't do their task. Who was it?
Oh no, I'm done for. Why does this have to be me? I watched as the parkour master interrogated each and every one of the parkour pros, knowing that sooner or later he was gonna show up where I was.
You. What was your task?
My task, I was selling houses to noobs on the bottom level.
Someone already did that task. Prepare for a parkour battle.
A parkour battle?
The parkour battle starts now.
This is just great. Why does my first parkour battle have to be against a parkour master?
For my first attack, I'm attacking you with a 3-block jump.
Okay, a 3-block jump, that's doable. I think I can survive this round. In Parkour Civilization, it should be no surprise that people fight each other with more parkour. If someone attacks you with a jump and you don't make it, you pay the price. Oh, this isn't good. I'm already down 4 hearts.
I gave you an easy one, but I guess this is going to be over faster than I thought. Get ready for my next attack.
The worst part about parkour battles is you can't even attack your opponent until you defend one of their attacks. And by the looks of this next jump, I probably won't be attacking the parkour master at all.
Your turn. 4 blocks by 3 blocks, diagonal jump.
Alright, here goes nothing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh man, this is so far. How did he do this first try? I was hoping I would get lucky, but luck wasn't on my side. The second attack hit me, and I was down to 2 hearts.
This is too fun for me. One more attack, and you'll be gone forever.
The parkour master was right. If I failed to defend one more attack, it's game over for me. All I could hope for now is that the parkour master fails this last jump. That way, I could actually have a chance to attack. No way he makes this first try. Oh god, he made it.
This is it for you, Parkour Pro. A 3-block vertical jump to decide your fate.
This was it. My entire journey in Parkour Civilization came down to this one jump, and it was a 3-block vertical jump. I thought when I ranked up to become a parkour pro, my days of parkouring to survive were over, but I soon realized I knew nothing about parkour society. Even as a pro, I wasn't even close to being at the top of Parkour Civilization. The parkour pros were the workers of society. Every day, we would get a new daily job to complete, and I found out the hard way what happens if you skip your job, because the one day I didn't get my daily task, a parkour master came down and challenged me to a parkour battle. And now I have to do the hardest jump I've ever done in my life if I want to live. This was it. All my work to rank up to become a parkour pro was gonna be for nothing if I didn't make this jump. But at least I was gonna die trying. I took a deep breath and I jumped. What? Is this real? I did it. I made a 3-block vertical jump.
You just bought yourself 5 more minutes of time, but we both know your fate. Get ready to attack me.
The parkour master was right. All I did was buy myself a little time. How was I going to be able to do a jump that the parkour master couldn't do? And if I make it too easy, the parkour master will just get another chance to attack me. I got lucky last time, but I don't think I'd survive another attack from the parkour master. For my first attack, I built a 1-block jump, and I did a 360. Maybe, just maybe, there was a chance this would work.
Wow, a 360? Never done that before, but if you did it, it can't be that hard.
Let's go. He's never done it before. I needed him to fail this jump.
What? How? Who even does 360s? What is this?
By some miracle, my attack against the parkour master was successful. I think I found his weakness. He couldn't do a 360. This was my chance. I just had to make sure that I kept making my jumps. For my next attack, I built a 2-block jump. I've never even made this jump before, but my entire life depended on it. I jumped, and I successfully made a 2-block jump with a 360.
This is ridiculous. How are you doing these jumps?
I watched as the parkour master tried to defend against my attack, but once again, the 360 was too difficult for him.
This can't be possible. How are you beating me?
Now, both the parkour master and I were at 2 hearts. The next person to land an attack would win the parkour battle. Alright, you ready for a 3-block jump with a 360?
No, stop. I yield. You win the parkour battle.
What? Are you serious? No way. I actually won the parkour battle? Somehow I beat a parkour master.
Because you beat me, I have something that can help you rank up to become a parkour master.
I could become a parkour master? The master said that the course to becoming a parkour master would be impossible, but he had something that could help me along the way. He pulled out an item and threw it on the ground. I went to pick it up and I figured out that it was a totem of undying. He said somewhere in the course there is a jump that I won't survive, and I'll know it when I see it. He told me to go attempt the course to rank up and find this jump. He said to find any information about the secret to completing that jump, because if I can figure out how to make the jump, I could rank up to become a parkour master. This was insane. Earlier today, I didn't even know parkour battles existed, and somehow I won my first battle, not just against anyone, but a parkour master, and now I actually have a reason to go back to the parkour temple and try to do the course to become a parkour master. I didn't like thinking about the fact that that wasn't the course to rank up. That was just the path to get up to the temple. But I wasn't going to make the journey up the temple just yet. Not only did I need food to get my health back, but I needed to do my daily task. I barely escaped with my life after missing one day of work, so I wasn't going to do that again. And today, my task was feed noobs. I realized after all this time of being a parkour pro, I've never made my way back down to the noob level yet. I wonder if anything's changed down there since I ranked up. If you're a pro in Parkour Civilization and you fall, you'll lose your rank and become a noob again. But you can still go down to the lower level. There's just a different way. This is the first time I'd been back to this part of the parkour temple since I ranked up. And now that I was a pro, I had access to a different doorway that I've never seen before. This new path led to a giant staircase that would take me back down to the noob level. If I missed one of these jumps, I would for sure die, but fortunately, one block jumps are too easy for me now that I'm a parkour pro. When I got to the bottom, I collected everything I needed in order for me to complete my daily task. It's crazy to think that I'm still the only one to have ever completed this course, but the barrier I used still should be there, so maybe someone else will. This is so strange. I once lived in this neighborhood. That was once my mansion. And now, as a parkour pro, I can see what it really looks like from down here. When I lived here, I was the only one that lived in my neighborhood, or at least the only one left. So does anyone live here anymore? Hello? Anyone home? Okay, I guess not. Maybe someone bought my mansion? I don't know. Hello? Anyone here?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Oh, no way, someone actually does live here. Alright, time to set up the jumps. Let's see, 1 block jump for raw chicken, and then the 1 block vertical jump for raw beef. Man, I can't believe I'm actually doing this job now. Alright, mandatory parkour check.
Oh, great. It's you.
You're a parkour noob now? Weren't you just at my house? Yeah, you delivered my parkour to me. So, what happened?
What do you think happened, genius? You just paid me a huge tip, and I was so happy. Then I fell out the front door.
Hey man, well, you know, I ranked up, so you could too. Alright, so now you have to choose your jump.
Think I don't know what to do already? Just let me jump for my food in peace.
Hey, I feel like I remember being in a situation that was just like this. You really think I could rank up to be a parkour pro?
Not a chance. You're a parkour noob, and you think you're so good now. Just wait till I rank up.
Oh, shoot. Oh, man, that sucks. Dang, now he has to spend another 50 years in parkour prison. Oh well. After only finding 2 noobs to feed, I went back to the other neighborhood where I found the old man. It just seemed so weird that he disappeared out of nowhere. I wanted to see if there was a chance that he came back. But when I got to the house, a parkour master walked out the front door. Luckily, I wasn't spotted. What was a parkour master doing all the way at the noob level? And why did he come from this house? When I thought the coast was clear, I made my way over. This couldn't be a coincidence. This is the only house I've seen with a secret room, and now a parkour master shows up here? Does the master even know about the secret room? I went to go inside, but something was wrong. There was no secret doorway. It was gone. I was sure this was the right house. That parkour master must have came here to block up the entrance. I sat there thinking about why the parkour master would do that, but nothing made sense to me. But that didn't matter to me right now. Now that I finished my daily task, it was time to try the course to rank up to become a parkour master and find this impossible jump. I got back up to the pro level, dropped off my daily task paper, and got ready to climb the parkour temple. Now, I had one thing to worry about, and that was making this initial course to get into the temple. I wasn't worried about falling. I was worried about wasting my totem of undying. The parkour master said that I would not survive the impossible jump. So if I got to that jump with no totem of undying, then this entire journey would be for nothing. I scaled my way up the side of the parkour temple until I got to the very top. Most of the jumps were 2-block vertical jumps, but towards the end, I had to make this 3-block jump. Now, I couldn't afford to make any mistakes. That's when I made the last jump and I was inside the parkour temple. What's crazy is that none of those jumps were a part of the real course to rank up. This was the real course. Already at first glance, I was seeing blocks I've never seen used in parkour before, but I was expecting that. There's a reason why almost no pros even attempt this course, and that's because it's so dangerous. Fence jumps, trapdoor jumps, and ladder jumps. The jumps just kept getting harder and harder the more I looked at it, but I wasn't here to rank up. All I was here to do was find the impossible jump that the parkour master told me about. If I find this jump and study it like he told me to, maybe I have an actual chance of becoming a parkour master. I climbed to the top of the ladder, and now I was really at the start of the course. Any fall from this height would result in death. And of course, I have to do fence jumps as the very first section. I held out my totem of undying, and I climbed on the course to begin. Fence jumps were my worst nightmare, but so far I've made 3 in a row. But I soon realized that's all I needed to do, because I think I found the impossible jump. What is this jump? Is this a 4-block vertical fence jump? There's no way this is the right way, right? But there was nowhere else to go. This was clearly the right path, but this jump it had to be impossible. Well, the master gave me a totem for a reason. I attempted the jump, but got nowhere close to even making it. That was it. That was my one chance to use the totem of undying, and I'm just hoping that that was the jump he was talking about. Now, I had to study the jump, and I knew just the way to do that. Fortunately, it was my neighbor who was working as the parkour delivery service today. Hey, I need a jump built in my house. Follow me. I need to show you what it looks like. All right, so for the jump I need built, it's kind of a little ways away.
Aw, man. Is the parkour jump all the way up there?
Yeah, it's fine. I'll tip you good. Just follow me. I brought my neighbor all the way up into the parkour temple and showed him the jump I wanted him to build. Since the jump was complicated, he placed down a block that copies every block on this jump. And after paying for his services, I now have this impossible parkour jump inside my own house. Now I can study this jump every single day. It turns out the jump was a 3-block vertical jump, but with the fences, it turns into a 4-block. It was actually impossible. So what was I missing here? I couldn't just practice this jump because Parkour Civilization laws state all jumps inside your home must have a risk of dying. So practicing wasn't gonna be my best option. This doesn't make any sense. I'll think about it tomorrow, I guess. I was gonna leave it, but that's when I slipped. No! For my entire life, I've been parkouring to survive. That's how any of us survive in Parkour Civilization. If you don't make the jumps, you pay the price. But no matter how many people I've seen fall, that never stopped me from believing that I could parkour all the way to the top of society. I was the first noob to ever rank up to become a parkour pro. I beat a parkour master in my first parkour battle, and I even found the impossible jump that the parkour master told me to look for. The worst part is I was so close. I actually thought I could be a champion one day, but one jump can change everything. No! I thought I was dead until I wasn't. What? How am I alive? My journey in Parkour Civilization should have ended. I was supposed to die there, but a barrier block caught my fall. This barrier block had to have been placed by someone, right? Unless it wasn't. The guy who came to deliver parkour used a device that copied every single block from the impossible jump. That had to be it. The barrier was from the impossible jump. This is what the parkour master wanted me to find. It was the way to get past the impossible jump. And now that I know about it, I can actually rank up to become a parkour master. This means I was gonna have to prepare. I couldn't believe it. Just a few minutes ago, I was about to fall down back to the noob level and become a parkour noob forever. And now I'm preparing to rank up again to become a parkour master. Alright, let's see what my daily task is today. Parkour course building. Okay, definitely cannot skip that. The last time I tried skipping my daily task, I was assigned parkour course building, and that resulted in a parkour master challenging me to a parkour battle where I barely survived, so I'm not gonna do that again. So far, this was the first time I've done a daily task that was located in parkour prison, and the only way to get there is by jumping in the void. Ever since I escaped this prison, I've never been back, and now I'm working here.
Oh, finally you're here. I thought you were never gonna show up. The parkour masters want another glass course made, and make sure you don't make the jumps too easy. There's only 2 noobs left in parkour prison, so I'll just grab one of them.